What's going on, Babylonians? It's me, Songs of Raids, and we're here with a different kind of video to bring to you today. This is going to be the first of a brand new set of series, going to be all around the game called Synced. Now, Synced is a game that we've actually enjoyed playing a couple of alphas that you've kind of been select access all the way since back last year. The game's been in development for a number of years now, including names like Jack Frags even taking part and actually playing the game as well, back when it was in early stages of development. But right now, it's starting to be able to actually take its shape, take its form, and it's making its way into open beta so people can actually enjoy it. So hopefully this game is on the horizon. Hopefully it's coming out very, very shortly. Basically, what we want to do is actually cover some basic videos just to give you an idea of what the gameplay is about, what the game is basically trying to do, and also what makes it unique. And also in this specific video, we're going to be talking about the runners and their nanos. Now, the nanos are basically companions when it comes to this game, but you have to be able to earn them in a way by actually going out and killing a prime nano to be able to then sync with it to then get a specific nano to be able to match with your class or any of those other chips that you do have. Before we go any further, make sure you have dropped a like and a subscribe on the channel. It really does help the channel out, and let's start diving right into the facts. Alright, so currently we have access to 4 characters and 4 nanos. Now, each of the characters has access to a different nano, which is kind of what to be able to complement their current playstyle. So, for example, the close range specialist, which is going to be Brother Abel, has access to the Crusher, which is also a close range specialist as well, basically there to be able to cause mayhem. We also have the Sniper that's basically designed to be able to have covering intel and be able to actually scout and recon the area ahead without actually putting themselves in any kind of danger. So let's have a quick look into each of them. Let's actually have a proper dive into them and find out what actually makes them so special. So we'll start with Brother Abel. Now, Brother Abel is the main character that you actually do get to play as during the tutorial, and that's be able to help you get to grips with how the game actually performs. Brother Abel is pretty much designed to be the close range specialist, or at least that's how they're geared up towards initially anyway. So they do come with a shotgun as standard during the tutorial anyway. They do have access to a special ability, and they have access to a few perks once you actually do manage to buy them out in the field. So the special ability, which is the Nano Band ability, comes with Incendiary Grenade. So this is a grenade that explodes and burns enemies in its radius, and basically it's just a really good projectile to be able to chuck out there that's going to do really good damage on PvE as well as PvP kind of side of things. When it comes to the perks though, they have access to Dragon's Breath ammo, where shotgun ammo that shoots flaming rounds, and you move faster when you are on fire. They also have access to Fire and Brimstone, where you get fire immunity from Incendiary Grenade. So if you go up against another Brother Abel, or you actually chuck your own and you want to run through it, you're actually immune from that. So you're all good to be able to actually push that. So going from that to Brother Abel's companion nano, this is the default nano that you get as standard when you actually go into a game. You can pick up other chips to be able to get access to all the other different nanos that are available in the game, but as standard you are given one each, and that's basically, so if you can't find any other chips, you always have access to a nano, so therefore this is going to be the one for Brother Abel. This is going to be the Crusher. The Crusher is basically the close range specialist when it comes to this game, and is basically designed to be able to have a high amount of health, and basically will run up and do a lot of melee damage, basically cause a lot of mayhem to be able to make panic happen through the other players. Now, in terms of properties with this, you actually get special abilities when they're actually recalled and they're currently on your arm, and you also get obviously abilities or kind of like special mods that actually activate when they're out and on the field as well. So it's up to you to be able to make that tactical choice of whether you actually want them deployed to be able to get your own tactical bonus, or if you actually do want them deployed to be able to actually help you out with the fight. So when it comes to the properties, when they're attached to your arm, you're able to increase the speed of your movement and as well as your melee attack. So basically you become a little bit quicker, and you're able to be a bit more of like a melee master in that kind of sense. You are also able to deploy, and you're also able to target with this nano, which means that they go and pursue and attack the target as well. When it comes to the actual mods that you can get, there is 3 listed here, which comes with Fire, where melee attacks inflict fire enemies with fire. Enemies will explode when they die. You also have access to Overload, which unlocks a new Crusher attack combo, but leaves it a little bit more vulnerable. And then you also have another certain mode that will activate when it's on your arm again, called Nano Fist, where Nano Fist replaces your melee attack and can be thrown once charged. Now, these mods that are actually available to yourself, as well as the ones that are on your character, are the ones that you have to buy through currency when you're actually playing in the game. So you have to go out there, you have to be able to farm, to be able to actually try and get roll the chance to be able to come up with these mods. The other kind of upgrades, we'll discuss currency in a separate video, but just know that to be able to grab these, you do need to be able to go out there, you do need to be able to start killing some nanos, you need to kill other players if you're playing PvP, and you're just basically looking for the red currency that's be able to called Radia, to be able to actually start upgrading yourself. So that pretty much covers Brother Abel, so let's move on to the next one that we have. So the second one that we do have access to is called Glory. Glory is basically your dedicated sniper support. She's basically the long-range specialist of the group. And she has some really nice things to be able to actually synergize with that as well. So going for the special ability, which is going to be the smoke grenade, where smoke blinds and poisons nanos as well as enemy runners. So you can use this as a deterrent as well as a way to be able to break line of sight. In terms of perks, we have In My Sights, where you can highlight runners through smoke with sniper scopes, and we also have the Tracker, where hitting runners with a sniper rifle reveals their position to your team for a short time. This also increases damage when hitting Nano's weak points as well. So it will help you to be able to actually take down some of the bigger enemies that actually do exist in this game, which you will actually see in maybe some of the footage that's in the background, but when you actually do get in, you'll know exactly what I mean. And also In My Sights allows you to be able to use your tactical or your special ability to then actually you make that as a way to be able to see through people and use it as a cover for yourself to be able to actually make yourself a little bit more effective. Now in terms of nanos, we have access to the Seer as default. Now the Seer is basically your recon specialist. It does have some ability to be able to actually engage in fights, but it's primarily used to be able to bait out enemy players, but also be able to scout out the scenery that's ahead as well. So when the Seer is attached to your arm, you're able to highlight nearby enemies on your minimap or your radar. When you can also deploy them, when they're deployed, they take the form of a Legion Nano while scanning the area. And you can also target, which will allow them to pursue and attack the target as well. When it comes to mods, we also have the Treasure Hunter, which automatically tags valuable items in the Meridian. We have Phantom, which is when they're deployed, or they're doing their deployment version, they're able to impersonate a runner to be able to bait rivals and highlight their positions. And also where we have Scan Enhancement, which is when they're back on your arm, where you're able to continuously scan while aiming. So basically, you're always looking down your sights with this one, and with the Seer currently on your arm, you're able to continually just kind of like scan the area just in front of you, just passively, which is always a nice thing to be able to do. So you should never really be able to get snuck up on when you do actually have her on your team. So next up we have Dr. Stone. Now Dr. Stone is going to be your kind of like your support character. He's going to be there to be able to apply heals. He's going to be able to do revives, and he's going to be able to do revives remotely as well on top of that. The Nano is also going to play a really big part in that as well. Let's cover Dr. Stone's gear and kit first, and then we'll go into the Nano. So the first thing that you've got to do is their special ability, which is Healing Aura, which heals nearby allies and removes all affliction. So any kind of like poison or anything else that's applied to you or your character or anyone else, especially if it's PvE as well, means that you can actually just heal them up with this. It doesn't necessarily say how much it's going to heal by. Maybe over time it would actually be able to actually fill you back up to full, but either way it's going to be a really good ability to be able to keep yourself alive, and especially going to be in PvE. And then next up we also have the perks, which obviously you do want to be able to grab from the machine, which gives you Medical Drone, where you can deploy a medical drone to revive down teammates, so you can cover the drone while it's actually able to pick you up. And then Combat Medic, which performs all healing and reviving actions faster. Just a standard way to be able to keep yourself alive, as well as be able to pick up your teammates, just in case they do go out in a down but not out stage. In terms of Nano, Dr. Stone has access to the Guardian. Now, the Guardian is basically your defensive it's kind of basically the Crusher if the Crusher was geared up to be able to go towards defense rather than offense, and it just basically it specializes in doing like shields and all that kind of good stuff. So when it comes to the Nano arm, or when they're actually on your arm, you can deploy an outward facing single-sided shield while aiming. So it's almost like a gun shield in a way, to be able to actually help you out in terms of making that push, and it can actually be a really good way to be able to offensively actually take them down. In terms of deployments, you can deploy a one-way protective shield at the target location, which means that you can actually pop it in front of you and you can shoot through it, but your enemies won't be able to shoot back at you, or at least won't be able to hit you for a certain duration. So therefore you can actually take advantage of this to be able to actually push forward. And you also have targeting to be able to pursue and attack targets as well. When it comes to mods that you can pick up, you have access to Guard, which is when they're on your arm. You get a large shield that shrinks when you start firing, so you can just constantly look down your sight, and you will have a bigger shield to be able to protect yourself, and then as soon as you want to be able to take the shots, it will actually shrink down from there. You have Recovery. Well, not in combat, the health of the Guardian as well as the Runner will also gradually recover. And lastly, we have the Shield, which is a deployment upgrade, which creates a stronger protective dome at the target location. And that just leaves one last one to be able to cover, and I'm only going to say their first name because I'll be completely honest with you, I have no idea how to pronounce that. But this is Carolina, and Carolina has got access to Eagle Eye, which allows teammates to be able to see enemies through walls. In case this isn't obvious, Carolina is going to be your more aggressive playstyle character to be able to actually take. Basically, the Nano is going to be more of a support, kind of like bombardment ability, and you're going to be able to beat up basically in the faces of enemies to actually get full advantage of your perks as well as your special ability. So Eagle Eye is going to be pretty good all over, especially for an aggressive team just in general. It's a fairly short ability, but it still does a pretty good job to be able to actually pick up where enemies actually are. In terms of perks, we have Prime Nano Hunter, which regenerate health after killing Prime Nanos or rival runners. So basically, if you actually kill one of the Prime Nanos, which allows you to be able to get a sync up and get your Nano as well, or if you actually kill some enemies hunters, you're able to keep yourself healed up to be able to take on the next next fight a little bit more ready. We also have Combat Roll, which allows you to be able to roll faster while using an SMG or pistol. Not necessarily too useful, but it's definitely a nice thing to be able to pick up in case you actually do have the slots available. And then lastly, let's have a look at the Nano that she gets as standard, which is going to be the Suppressor. Now the Suppressor, like I said, is going to be your support kind of bombardment kind of Nano. So this is going to be your ranged kind of effect in terms of dealing damage. So when it's on your Nano, when it's on your arm, so Nano arm, you deal an electric shock when you stun Nanos, or you break a runner's shield. So this is kind of a way to be able to, if you're in close quarters, which you should necessarily be with Carolina, you should actually be able to take full advantage of that. But obviously, I feel like it's better to have this Nano out and actually helping you out with the fight. You have deployment where you can scout the target position, and you also have targeting to be able to pursue and attack the target. When it comes to mods, though, we have Assault, which is when the Suppressor is on your arm, greatly improves the weapon's aiming speed and railgun recharging speed. Obviously that last bit was a bit confusing until you then go to the next mod, which is Railgun, where actually when it's on your arm, your first shot is a powerful high energy charge. And then lastly we have Overwatch, which is when deployed, Suppressor becomes invisible while in Overwatch and will tag nearby runners, kind of being like a makeshift Seer in a way, to be able to actually give you a little bit of like intel, to be able to actually help you out with the next bit of the fight. And there you have it. That is everything to know about the runners. That's everything to know about the Nanos, and basically how you want to start gearing yourself up. And which character would you say is going to be the one that actually plays into your playstyle the best? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm very eager to be able to hear. I'm definitely a Carolina person main all the way through. I genuinely love how the Suppressor plays, and I genuinely love her kit as well. Thank you all so much for making your way to the end of the video. It really does mean the world to us. Thank you all so much to the Babylonian family, as always, for their continued support as well. It really does mean the world to us. And that just leaves me to say, keep yourselves safe, keep yourselves well, and I'll see you all on our next video.